Most people look at the market and ask, is it going up? Is it going down? And that's actually the wrong question to ask. What really matters is what buyers and sellers are doing right now. And the last 30 days tells a very clear story. So today we'll be looking at a market update for 4 counties: Davidson, Maury, Williamson, and Rutherford County. These 4 counties, I'm going to blend them all together. I'm going to call it Central Middle Tennessee. And this is just going to be a quick overview of the numbers for that area to give us a 50,000 foot view of what the market looks like right now. We're also going to compare it to last month to show us how the market might be changing month to month so that we can go into this with a clear idea for what's important for both a buyer and a seller. We're going to look at things like average days on market, sold to original fee, active listings, new listings, closings, average sale price, median sales price, and months of supply. Why should you listen to this? Who am I? My name is Dane. I'm a realtor here in Middle Tennessee with Keller Williams, and I work with both buyers and sellers to help them make sure that they get the most bang for their buck and the best opportunity for their lifestyle in Middle Tennessee. Let's go to the top. Let's start with average days on market. Average days on market stayed at 43, which tells us a story that the pace of the market didn't change. This is important to note for some of our later numbers because it tells us that there's a two-tiered story happening here. Yes, the days on market didn't shift, but something did shift, and that gives us a new perspective on the market. So we looked at the days on market. Now we're going to shift to look at sold to original list fee. For last month we were at 98.4. This month we've jumped up to 98.7. So what does that tell us, or what does that imply, or what does that suggest about the market? It suggests that we have realistic buyers meeting realistic sellers with the negotiation room being quote unquote less aggressive potentially to keep that listing fee or the original listing fee pretty close to what it was. Now that doesn't suggest runaway competition or a runaway market, but it does suggest, like I stated, those disciplined buyers are meeting those disciplined sellers in the market. Next, we saw that inventory tightened slightly, despite there being more listings. So across the board, we saw that active listings declined from last month about 5,020 to this month being 4,954. We still saw that new listings increase from 2,206 to 2,286. Even with more homes coming on the market, buyers are absorbing or buying those homes faster than before, which suggests or supports the idea that buyer demand picked up rather than sellers disappearing across the market. Further, it suggests that buyer demand strengthened. So why do we say that? Well, we saw that closings jumped from 930 in January to 1,123 in February, which is a 21% increase. Secondly, we also saw the months of supply drop from 6.22 to 5.24, which tells us that more homes are being absorbed relative to the inventory, and which is shifting our market to a better balanced market rather than a buyer's market. Further, what we're looking at, the average price drop fell from roughly 794,000 to roughly 749,000, and the median sold price rose from roughly 520 to roughly 535,000. So what does that tell us? It implies that there's fewer high-end deals pulling the number up, and that there's more mid-market closings pulling the median up. And so what we're seeing is those top-end prices that we might have seen in January, not as frequent potentially, and that more of the central core of our pricing and where most of the mid-market is there's more increase in there, which usually suggests that buyers are focusing on value, not stretching their budgets, and again suggesting that we have these realistic buyers meeting these realistic sellers across the market to give us that higher median price range. So looking at the last month across Middle Tennessee, or what I called Central Middle Tennessee counties, what we saw was a market that became more active and more balanced. Buyer activity seems to have increased, inventory was absorbed more quickly, and the months of supply declined across the board. At the same time, pricing suggests that buyers are still being selective, rewarding homes that are positioned correctly rather than overpaying across the board. So the short story, plain English, very simple for you to understand, is a buyer and seller. Market quietly sped up last month, not dramatically, but meaningfully. Buyer activity increased, listings were absorbed faster, and sellers who price correctly continue to be rewarded, or at least it seems. And at the same time, price signals showed a more selective buyer, not a collapsing market. So for buyers, you seem to have more choice, but well-priced homes are moving, so preparation and clarity matters. So sellers who price and prepare correctly are still seeing strong activity, while homes that tend to miss the mark look like they're taking longer to gain traction. So So if you're a buyer or seller and you're trying to make sense of the market for you, please book a call. I have a calendar link down below. I'd love to walk through that with you, help you identify where you are in the market and make sure that we find the best possible options for you, as well as the options that fit your lifestyle. And for everyone else, please like, subscribe, follow along. I post monthly updates for you to enjoy, hopefully, because I enjoy them. And I post weekly content on living in these 4 counties, making sure that you know the ups and downs, the ins and outs of living within Central Middle Tennessee. Until next time, see you then.